Speaker recognizes the member from Harbour Grace, Port of Grey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and congratulations on your new position. And welcome back to our fall sitting. It's certainly an honour to always stand and represent the constituents, of course, that elected us here to this great House Assembly. And I represent the strong, beautiful, historic district of Harbour Grace, Port of Grey. So we've heard a lot of great points today about this bill, Bill 8. So I simply won't belabor, the point. There's a lot of great support in here for this bill. It makes complete sense. To debate Bill 8 here, an act to amend the Labour Standards Act. I'd like to thank my colleague, the Minister, for being the lead on this bill in his role as Minister for Advanced Education, Skills and Labour. And it's more of a procedural matter that involves making necessary amendments to respond to the creation by the federal government of a new parental sharing benefit introduced in Budget 2018. And the amendment contained in this bill will provide greater flexibility for parents so they can better accommodate their childcare for their family planning needs. And that's what I like about this bill, Mr. Speaker, is the flexibility. Parents can choose to split their parental leave right down the middle. So parents can take 20 weeks of parental leave each if they choose. Another option would be for a parent to take 30 weeks and the other to take the 10. So I like the flexibility in it. Parents will be able to share their leave in many ways, and that's the beautiful part of this bill. They can decide whatever best suits their lifestyle. And again, what we're doing provincially is protecting jobs while workers take parental leave. I've had many conversations with people who are fearful that taking the leave will have a negative consequence on their careers. And for women in general, in particular, Mr. Speaker, women have long been discriminated against when it comes to parental leave, and we know that, and statistics show that, and my colleagues also demonstrated this and spoke about this earlier in this debate. This discrimination has taken many forms from employers simply refusing to continue employing pregnant or new mothers, to opinions in certain professions that once a woman becomes a mother, that she immediately has less earnings potential and is therefore less value to a firm. So this is a shame, and we need to do what we can, to get more women involved in the industry. I mean, even in politics, you look here in our House of Assembly, we have 40 seats representing our great district. Only 9 of those seats are occupied by women. And the rest are men here, Mr. Speaker. A lot of great men, of course, but we need more women. It provides a healthy balance and a different perspective. And I'm glad to say, the women who are here in our legislature are all strong women. And of course, my colleague across the way, the leader of the third party, had a great, delightful, animated debate in her part and raising good points. But we need to do more what we can to support and to encourage women to be involved in the workforce in any profession that they choose. So no one should be discriminated against for taking parental leave to build a strong and healthy family. And what we are doing with this bill is indeed protecting that right to take leave without having to worry about losing your job while doing so. And just to add in a little personal little story here, I'm imagining back years prior, as the Minister of Finance said, it was typical and it was more traditional for a woman to stay home and raise children and to raise a lot of kids back then. I mean, my grandmother, for example, raised 13 children, and 9 girls and 4 boys, all of which those women, with the exception of 2, had careers and went into the workforce. And it's a great job, what they did, of course. My grandmother, she was the homemaker, and, she raised a great family. But it would be interesting to see, what we could do, what we're doing today, if we could have done back then. So I digress on that. I won't belabor this point. I think it's a great bill. It's great legislation. Always an honor to stand in my place to represent my district and, of course, to support this good legislation brought forth by government. I look forward to the support for all members in the House for this one. Again, thank you to the Minister. That concludes my remarks. And I look forward now to taking this bill into committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.